All right, y'all, what's up? We are back for episode 11 of Baddies West, and I have this microphone. Don't know if it's working. I have it hooked into something here. I literally don't know if it's working or not, but I'm just trying it out for this just to see because I'm trying to enhance these videos and stuff so the audio can be clear or whatnot. But enough of all that. Y'all already know what to do. Thumbs up the video, drop the comments down below. I want to hear what y'all got to say. Subscribe if you have not already. If you just jumped on this video, share it. And let's go. We're going to get into it. All right, so we get back from the cliffhanger of Natalie and Scotty. Scotty's basically saying that she felt blindsided. Natalie's talking about how she put in too much for these girls to be treating her like this and just to sit there and let Chrisean slap her. So Natalie's whole thing is she is basically embarrassed. And that's really what it comes down to. She didn't flat out say that, but her reasoning behind it, she's basically saying that nobody did anything on her behalf, just let Chrisean slap her and that's it. And she's saying a lot of people sitting there laughing and whatnot. And that's why when Scotty came out to check up on her, she felt like you was just sitting there laughing. And she said that Scotty came up to her saying, what's going on? What happened? I don't know what happened. And she's like, you was literally just sitting there and you saw it and you was laughing. We'll get to the laughing part later on. But she was mad, saying that she don't care who it is, anybody don't get it. So she's now stating that she now will have smoke for whoever because they didn't do nothing to stop Chrisean from slapping her. And it's just like, what exactly were they supposed to do? Like, she slapped you. Were they supposed to get up and fight her too? Natalie was losing me in this moment. But Stunna, because Scotty got back on the bus and Stunna was saying that she don't blame Natalie for putting her hands on her because she watched what had happened and didn't do anything about it. And she said if her friend didn't do anything about her getting slapped, then she would have felt the same way. And we'll get on that because they started touching on this later on. And I strongly disagree with what they were saying. And I'll explain why. But Love was saying the obvious too, saying that why would Natalie be touching Scotty, like slapping on Scotty and jumping on her and doing all that when she didn't do anything to Chrisean, and Chrisean is the one that slapped you. And I'm like, yeah, right. That's the genuine question that I had the entire first half of this is like, why are you touching her when you literally can go in there and get Chrisean? But that's neither here nor there, and we already know how this goes down. Natalie's the type to do that with her own friends. But Chrisean was saying that she felt like Natalie felt like she was dumb, or at least like she felt like she felt dumb by sitting there just letting her slap her and not doing anything about it, and didn't want to look pussy, and then she ended up slapping on Scotty. So everybody's kind of echoing the same thing, saying the same thing that we all have kind of already understood and knew prior to coming here. So they all just stating the same thing that we already said. Natalie is just taking her anger out on Chrisean, or taking her anger that she has for Chrisean out on Scotty, because Scotty is the easiest one to do it to. Because she knew Scotty wasn't gonna do nothing back, and Scotty didn't do nothing back. Scotty apparently got scratched up and whatnot. I didn't see it. They didn't show none of that, but she got scratched up and whatnot to the point where everybody else sees it and is now pissed off. And Rolly sees that Scotty's up in the front crying. And Rolly was sitting in the back and she went up to check on Scotty. And Scotty was saying that she did not hit Natalie because that's her friend. And Rolly said the same thing that I said last week, friend or not, you put your hands on me, I'm hitting you back. Like, it's just that simple. Like, friends don't do that. Like, they don't do that. My friends ain't never touched me. They ain't never hit me. And I was gonna say if they did, but I don't have friends that do that. But if I had a friend that did that, we wouldn't be friends no more. Because we're gonna fight. And then when I fight you, I'm not your friend anymore. Like, it's just that simple. But Scotty was sitting there stating that she wasn't doing it. Like I said, she wasn't doing it because she didn't want to fight her friend. She didn't want to touch her friend. And Rolly gets mad. Like, you can tell Rolly's anger is coming from just a place of just anger for Scotty. Like, she's mad for Scotty because she's like, why do you let this girl keep doing you like this? You've seen how she does all her friends. Like, you look at Scott, who was it? Sarah. You look at Judy. You look at all these, just like the past, all these girls that she's done this to. Jayla. You see how she does them. Why do you think you're gonna be any different? That's basically what Rolly was stating. And she's like, you got to stop allowing it to happen. That's the difference, because the other three, Judy, she might let some of the stuff happen, but she'll voice her opinion about it. Sarah was not letting it happen. We saw what happened. And regardless, Sarah can't fight. But Sarah's gonna voice her opinion. She's gonna let Natalie know that she ain't with that stuff that Natalie be trying to do. And they're not friends to this day. And who knows if that's gonna last. Jayla and her are friends, but Natalie knows not to put her hands on Jayla. I know that much because Jayla is not like the other ones. She will really tear her up. But that's basically where Rolly was coming from. And Scotty was asking her not to yell at her. And she's like, I'm not trying to yell at you, but I'm just frustrated because I'm tired of watching it. Like, we all see this happen and we see how she just does not respect you. And she's going to continue to do this because you allow her to do it. And she said all the stuff that Scotty needed to hear. We'll see if Scotty actually takes that in, which I don't know, because they're still best friends now to this day. So we'll see. But Scotty ended up saying too that Natalie ended up biting her, like bit her. That's nasty. And you still gonna be friends with her. Not only did she scratch you up, she put her hands on you and she bit you. Yeah, no. But all the while, Natalie is in the house, in the kitchen, talking about Natalie was using a lot of words that I've never heard before and don't exist in the dictionary, like etiquette, saying that Chrisean has no etiquette. She said it last week too, but I forgot to mention it. No etiquette. Etiquette, that's not a word. She also said Chrisean has no mannerisms, meaning she was trying to say she has no manners, which I found funny because Natalie, she's got 2 degrees and whatnot. She'll let you know she got them 2 degrees, but the way she be talking on here, you'd be shocked if she has 2 degrees from USC, but she do. I ain't gonna knock it, but come on, let's start using real words. But she in the kitchen acting like Chrisean, drinking it and spilling. Well, I ain't gonna say drinking because she ain't drinking it. She just messing around, spilling orange juice, spilling apple juice, going in the kitchen, just throwing stuff around, acting like Chrisean. And I'm like, at this point, what is the point? Like, what are you really trying to prove here? Like, you're just messing up stuff and wasting stuff that y'all have to drink, and Zeus is gonna have to pay for it. But maybe that's her point. She's maybe stating that like Zeus be allowing Chrisean to do whatever she wants, so I'm gonna do whatever I want. But Natalie, this is your show, so you should be able to do whatever you want. Essentially, you shouldn't be doing whatever you want in terms of stuff like that, but essentially you should. But Chrisean is sitting there staying on the bus. Like, the thing is with Natalie, she said Chrisean's got a big heart. She said she can tell Natalie's a good person, but she's weird. So it's like a catch-22 is like, really, which one are you trying to deal with today? And the one that I got to deal with today is the one that's weird. So in this moment in time, I don't feel like dealing with her, but she feels like at the end of the day, she could be cool with Natalie because she feels she's a good person at the end of the day. Chrisean then gets in the house, and Natalie is standing behind security, popping her shit, talking about replacing Chrisean. Chrisean sitting there like, whatever. And the next scene, that's really what it was. Like, in terms of this whole first half of the episode, there's really not much to really talk about. Like, nothing of substance was really happening. But the next scene, we get them getting ready to go to the club. They ended up getting ready to go out. You know, they do the little solo shots where they're getting ready and stuff. So they ended up going out, getting in the club, not even getting in the club, getting on the bus. Everybody except for Natalie and Stunna ended up getting on the bus. Kat is over it. She's tired of them riding separately. She's like, at this point, we've been on this tour for a while now. Y'all should be able to get over this mess and get on the bus. Everybody be together, which is what I said a couple of weeks ago. That's the part that's starting to make the show annoying, is because they get to do whatever they want. It's just like, force these girls to be on the same bus together, force them to work stuff out, force them to be grown women and get over certain things and like move on. But they get on the bus. Scotty is sitting there talking about keeping her distance from Natalie. She's sitting there in a mood, sulking, obviously. But they ended up getting to the club. Natalie and Stunna arrived first, and the rest of the girls ended up coming probably some minutes later. They all start walking in there. Natalie's on the mic, and it's like they weren't together like they were the last few clubs where they're all like bunched in the same area. They were all like spread out towards the back of the VIP that they were in. And Natalie was introducing the girls. And of course, it's not coincidental. She's doing it on purpose. She's going to certain girls and she's calling out the girls first that she don't have much beef with. She ended up getting to Scotty. And when she got to Scotty, Scotty was just like, she wasn't acting. Natalie was that's the thing with Natalie. She knows how to perform. When it comes time to perform, she's going to perform. And whenever she's on that stage in front of the crowd, she's not letting them know that they got beef and stuff going on. Scotty is not feeling it because Scotty's mad. Like, you know, I don't fault her for that. Cause like in this instance, like you're supposed to be my friend and you just put your hands on me, you bit me, and then now you out here in the club acting like nothing went down. And I can understand both ends. I see why Natalie was putting on that face in the club because it's like, who wants to be ghetto in the club when you're trying to get money? But I see where Scotty's coming from because I'm not on that fake time either. Like, if we ain't had no discussion and we ain't moved past it, I can't fake it. I can't fake it at all. She was not faking it. But then Scotty said too that she was not in the mood in her confessional. She said she's an athlete first. She does her job. And when she says she's an athlete first, I'm like, okay, so what does that have to do with you going to the club and hosting? But that's what she said. But next, Chrisean ended up being the last one to be introduced, as always, and she ended up performing the same song she always performed. It's a Vibe, the only song that I think she has. Roly, she's had a couple different songs that she's performed at each one of these club appearances. That's one thing I will say. Roly, out of all of them, now that I'm thinking about it, she's performed more songs than any of them, if I'm not mistaken, because she performed that Sugar Avery song that she performed last season. That's the first song that I heard of hers, and that's what made me. I actually got it downloaded on my phone. That's a good song. But she performed that one. Stunner did throw it in rotation. And then Tommy finished it off doing whatever Tommy do. And then they ended up finishing the whole club appearance with another meet and greet. Chrisean left doing exactly what they said that they didn't want her to do, being the first one to open the show, because she did exactly what they didn't want her to do. She performed and left. They wanted her to stay and hype up the crowd, do the same stuff that everybody else does for everybody else. But Chrisean wants to do what Chrisean wants to do, and she left. Stunner ended up leaving as well. And Lowe's not going for it again as always. It's like she just don't like it. And I don't like it either. I'm not mad at her. But the next day we get the next scene, which is a whole new day. Sky's in the kitchen. She's stating how she got 2 missed calls from Chrisean. Chrisean ends up answering the phone when Sky calls her and tells her that she's at home and she quits the show. We'll see if that's true or not. But in this episode, she ain't been back. So she quit the show. She says she's tired of Natalie. And Natalie ends up coming into the kitchen. And Sky's pretty much telling her the same things. Chrisean left and Natalie said, good, bye. She said, because like she's always doing whatever she wants to do. So go, bye. And I'm like, at this point, I do agree with Natalie. Like, and I've been saying, well, not at this point, I've been saying that the whole time. Like, I feel like if Chrisean does not want to fully commit to being on the show, don't come. Don't stay, don't stay, don't finish it out. Go and stay where you at. Don't just keep popping in and out. That's annoying. But Natalie was saying that she feels like Chrisean feels like whenever Chrisean goes somewhere, Sky's gonna go with her. Sky said that's not the case. I got to do my own job. Like, I'm here to DJ. And I'm like, I respect you for that, because stop being a follower, because that's what she was giving at the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the season, y'all know, if you watch my reviews, if you didn't, go watch them. I said that's literally what Sky is here for, to be Chrisean's lapdog. Like, whatever Chrisean does, Sky's gonna do. But it's good to see that Sky is now standing on her own. But Sky was saying that if you're not Chrisean's friend, you won't be able to understand it, and you will end up being irritated with the way that she moves. Like, she moves whenever she wants to. If she don't want to be there, she's not gonna be there. If she wants to go somewhere, she's gonna go, and she don't care about whatever else is going on with the show and whatnot. And I'm like, I understand certain parts of that, but if you're on a show and you've signed up to be on a show, you need to be there the whole time. With me, I'm the type of person, like, if I go out somewhere and I don't want to be there long, I'm not going to be there long. I'm going to leave too. But if I signed up to be somewhere in terms of like being on a show or whatnot, you're going to have to be there, and I'm going to be there. And if I don't want to be here, I wouldn't have signed up. If I knew I didn't want to be around certain people, I would not have signed up. And she knows she don't want to be around certain people, so it's weird. But Natalie ended up saying the same thing. She performs and she dips, and she said at that point, stay the fucking home, respectfully. And I'm like, I respectfully agree. But the next scene, we get Tommy and Biggie. They in the room. Razor ends up walking in with them, and they're sitting there talking about getting ready for the club. Tommy starts talking about how Razor got essentially resting bitch face. She said Razor is the one in the club. If you looking in the club to see if they got some drama going on or whatnot, and everybody else is faking it, just look at Razor, because you can tell by her face that she ain't feeling the vibes, and that the vibes are really probably off. Razor was thrown off. She's like, do I really have it like that? Because she's been trying to fix that. But Tommy ended up, and they started talking about how Chrisean was leaving. That's the whole theme of this. Chrisean's not here. Chrisean's not here. So they're talking about that, and they think that she might have been double booked, like saying that she's got so much going on that she might have had another appearance. We all know that's not true. She went to go be with Blueface. Like, let's keep it real. They fighting in the streets. I think that was around the time when all them TMZ articles came out with them fighting in the streets. So if I'm not mistaken, that's probably what they were doing, which is not, that's not an excuse to not be there. But they ended up calling Chrisean and asking her, like, what's going on? Where you at? She said she at home. Pretty much says the same thing that she told Sky. She's tired of Natalie. She said Natalie's a weird ass bitch. She's disrespectful, screaming at her stylist and screaming at her stylist's face, which she did. They rolled the clips back. She said she was spitting in her face too. She was on top of the table screaming in the stylist's face, talking about her Chrisean's not the show and whatnot, just having her whole Natalie bitch fit. So Chrisean was right in that instance, because she definitely was doing that. They showed the clip back. But Chrisean said she don't want to do baddies anymore. She said it's not for her. She's not here to do it anymore. She said she feel like certain things trigger her to just feel like she about to act a fool, and that's what she don't want to do. That's what she says she don't want to do. We, for real, we don't know. Chrisean is still fighting to this day. But yeah, she said she's sharing her platform too. And I knew when she said that to Tommy was gonna be upset. Tommy's talking about some nope, like she cut off motion to come out here and be with y'all. And she's like, so what are you talking about? What are you sharing with me? And you know, you can't tell Chrisean that, because I mean, you can't tell Tommy that, because Tommy, like Chrisean, thinks that they are Beyonce. They swear they Beyonce. They swear they are God's gift to this earth. Y'all are literally sharing the same platform. Nobody is sharing anything. Truth be told, hate saying it, but Natalie is sharing her platform with y'all, because this is her show. She casted y'all to be on her show. So if anybody's sharing a platform, it is Natalie. Don't like hearing her saying it, but it's true. Like, she gave y'all the opportunity to be on her show. So this is her show. This is her platform. Wow. When you sit and talk about it and you sit and say it and think about it, Natalie is right. This is her show. Like, if anybody's platform, it is hers. So them getting mad about sharing each other's platform and saying that they sharing something, it's funny. It's really funny to me. But yeah, like I said, she didn't like that. But the next scene, Natalie comes into Rolly's room. Natalie is asking Rolly how she felt about the performances and whatnot. Rolly said it felt like it was the most organized. Natalie was telling her how she was killing it, and she is. Rolly is killing it. I feel like out of everybody, Rolly's performances are the ones that suck me in the most. And like I said, it's probably because she's always performing a different song. And in her vibe, like on the stage, she's a good performer, and she's an engaging performer. And her rhymes are cool, like her flow is cool. She raps like she's a really good rapper. I can say that. Like, I feel like if she really gets in the right hands with the right producers, she could do something. I really think she can. But Rolly then brings up the stuff with the bus stuff, because Natalie was trying to go around it and not talk about it, and Rolly was going to make her talk about it. So Natalie was saying that Chrisean keeps digging and digging and digging and talking about her age and whatnot. Natalie says she swears that she hopes she gets to her age. Like I told y'all last week, she's on to something with that, because I don't even see Chrisean getting to my age if she continues at the same route that she's on. Because she's 22, 23 years old. Like, she's heavily induced with drugs. She's always out here fighting. She's putting herself in places where she could end up being, I ain't trying to say the word because I ain't trying to get demonetized, but you know, and it's just like certain things she puts herself in, it's like you can avoid a lot, and you can add more years to your life not being in situations that she puts herself in. And Natalie had a point with that. And then Natalie also had a point in too, where she was saying, like, there's certain things that she does, she just brushes off and just does not address when she could. Like how she's sticking her fingers in her food and stuff. That would have pissed me off too. But she said she just gave her the food. Like, whenever she started doing stuff like that, she just gives it to her and just, like, in a way, treats her like a child. Natalie's at her wit's end now. She's tired of doing it, which I can't fault her on that. Like, they both have points about each other. I would feel the same way that Natalie's feeling, because I wouldn't even go for it. Like, the stuff Natalie allowed to happen would have not happened with me. You're not sticking your fingers in my food. No, absolutely not. But Brody ends up talking about how she feels like Natalie and Chrisean really don't like each other. They just co-workers. And Natalie was agreeing. She was like, yeah, that's pretty much what it is now. And she was saying that she gave Chrisean the platform, and she's biting the hand that's feeding her. True. It's true. But Natalie was saying that Scotty was asking about what had happened. And when she went outside asking her what had happened, when Natalie said, you literally saw what happened, that's what pissed her off. And in the instance, Natalie, I feel like Natalie that's not the reason why she attacked Scotty. I don't feel like it. I feel like she just found a reason and is sticking to that as the reason to explain the reason of why she did it. But that excuse would have pissed me off too, because I'm the type of person, don't ask me no questions that you already know you already know what happened. So why are you coming up to me asking me what happened when you literally were there? Like, you saw what happened. So that would have pissed me off too, but that's just me adding my 2 cents. But Rolly started defending Scotty and saying like she sees a lot in Scotty that could possibly be concerning. She says she sees, because in terms of Rolly, as she said a couple of weeks ago, that she's been battling depression and having mental health stuff and mental health struggles. And she says she sees little signs that Scotty might possibly be going through depression too. And she's saying to Natalie, like, you don't want to miss those signs with your friend and have her going through something and you just completely just add into it. Like, take it back. Like, you can tell this girl really cares about you. Like, try and talk to her, have a conversation with her and see if y'all can get over it. And Natalie then agrees to doing that. So we're gonna get that later on in the episode. Ooh, I'm talking over myself. I can't talk. I'm trying to talk fast today. I'm trying to get this over with because this episode was not it. But the next scene was Kat, Stunner, and Lo. They were recapping the night as always. Stunner said that she dipped when she peeped some weird shit, and she said like the energy was off, she left. I can't be mad at her because I would have done the same thing. If the energy's off, I'm leaving. But Lo said that she feels like she wouldn't want people to think, talking about herself, like if I was booked to be somewhere, I wouldn't want people that are booking me to think I'm the type to just come here and do certain things that I signed up to do and then just dip and not do the rest, aka the meet and greet. Stunner was saying like she don't know why Lo is still worrying about other people when she just got popped and was left with lumps and stuff. I mean, she's saying what she's saying, but I get where she's coming from. But then again, I don't, because I see where both of them are coming from. Just put it that way. But they started talking about Natalie and Scotty and whatnot. And Chrisean told Lo, because Lo talked about how Chrisean told her, I guess after the whole fight that they had, that whenever she was fighting Lo, that she felt Sky should have jumped in and she expected Sky to jump in. And Stunner was saying she expected the same from her friends. And I'm like, And Lo was saying the same thing too, because Lo started saying like, if my friend is fighting somebody, she gonna jump in automatically. And I'm like, no, I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about that. And what would y'all do in that instance? If your friend is fighting and it's a one-on-one situation, are you jumping in? That's considered jumping. Me, I'm not jumping in no fights that's one-on-one. Not jumping in at all. But if I say you getting your ass beat, I'm gonna pull you. I'm gonna pull the person off of you. The only time I'm jumping in a fight with my friend is if it's a 2-on-1 situation or more. If it's a one-on-one, you handle your one-on-one. If you getting beat up, I'm gonna pull you off. I'm gonna pull them off of you. But if you have a one-on-one, you handle it. Like with me having a one-on-one, I would expect other people to allow me to have a one-on-one. But if somebody's jumping you, yes, I'm jumping in. If it's 2-on-1 or more than 2-on-1, yes, I'm jumping in. That's the only time I feel like you should jump in a fight that's going on, like, period. But that's what they said. That's what I said. Tell me what y'all think. But towards the end, it's funny because they started talking about Sky, as I just said, and Sky ended up hearing her name. So she comes in and confronts Lauren about it. Lauren, that's the first time I said Lo's real name. Come and confronted her about it. And Lo was saying, was she eavesdropping? Like, what's going on? Because she felt a little confused too about why you confront me. And Sky was saying she wasn't going to jump in because Chrisean was fighting her and it was just a one-on-one situation. And I agree with Sky on that, which I hate that they was making me agree with her on it. But I was agreeing on it, and Lo was standing on saying, like, if her friend ends up swinging, she's swinging. Whatever. So we wrap it up with Natalie and Scotty. This was annoying, but Scotty came in and she's saying that she heard from Rolly that Natalie wanted to talk to her, and she was mad because Natalie couldn't call her and tell her that she wanted to talk to her, which would have pissed me off too. But that should have told you a lot about Natalie, Scotty. That's not your friend. Because if she really wanted to talk to you, she would have called you and said, I want to talk to you. That should tell you a lot. But Natalie's talking about everybody else and what everybody else felt about the fight and whatever. And Scotty's saying, I don't care about what everybody else felt. I want to know what you felt. Natalie was saying that she saw Scotty laughing about the whole situation with the fight and stuff. Scotty was swearing up and down she was not laughing or paying attention to what was going on. Natalie's swearing she got video footage. And I'm like, where's the footage at? They didn't show it when she said it. So then Natalie ended up, or Scotty ended up saying that she went outside to check on Natalie because she then found out after the fact that Natalie had gotten slapped. Natalie said, and Scotty said too that she felt like Natalie used that time to make her look like a punk. And Natalie's still sticking to her story. Scotty sitting there crying, saying that she did not see Chrisean hit her, and Natalie sworn up and down she did because she was laughing. Natalie saying it's all over the blogs and whatnot. And then Natalie ends up pulling out the video saying that it was basically the build up to the fight. Like, you should have known that she was going to possibly hit me because of the build up. And it's like, what was Scotty supposed to do? Like, what was she supposed to do? If it did not happen, what was she supposed to do? And I'm like, what does Natalie expect Scotty to do in that moment? But Natalie shows her the video, and there's literally Scotty looking dumbfounded, smiling and laughing. Like, you could tell she did not know what was going on. And this is before the slap. This is like literally Natalie's live video. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But Scotty ends up crying, and Natalie's not giving a fuck, as always. And that's the thing about Natalie that I love, because that would be me too. I don't care about you crying. Like, and it's not even about her. If it comes to being a friend or whatnot, I ain't gonna say I don't care about you crying, but you crying around me, I don't know what to do. I'm sorry. I get uncomfortable when people cry around me, but in this instance, I felt Scotty more than Natalie, because you can tell Scotty is like genuinely Natalie's friend, and it's not reciprocated at all. But in this instance, I wish Scotty would grow up and realize that's just your coworker. But that is what it is, and that was the end of the episode. Next week did not look like too much either. They're talking about Chrisean, half the preview. And then they end up going to San Francisco. And then it looks like Tommy and Stunner possibly, which I'm assuming is Stunner. That's the only person I feel like Tommy has fought this season. But they're going to get into it again. And that was the end of the episode. Not much to really talk about. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop the comments down below. Subscribe if you have not already. Thumbs up the video. I just said like the video. You can follow me on my socials. That'll all be down there too. And yeah, I'll see y'all next week. Peace.